So, interesting question. Boycott Nintendo? Should we? Should we not? And should we still be getting a Switch 2 in this economy with all things that are happening? Is it worth it? All right, let's see.
I've decided that I won't be getting one. Not because I think the games don't look good, because I don't think the company deserves my money. I say boycott Nintendo because I want them to change and be better, not because I want them to go out of business. I love Nintendo, boycott Nintendo.
Yeah, I actually want to know how many people were turned off by the price and that actually influenced their decision, because not a lot of people can just really just hand over 500 plus game. That's, and like, even if you just get it, okay, you buy the Switch, okay, you need games, okay, you need more games, you're gonna want, so it's an investment. So people really have this long-term, probably 10 plus year investment for the Switch too. It's a huge investment. Like if you go in, you're in, like, because if you don't, you'll spend the money and you're out 600 and you don't even play a Switch. So it's really up to that. All right.
First thing I want to talk about is this thing about the physical game key cards. Some of the Switch 2 games you buy will not have the game data on there. The cartridges will be empty.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, is he gonna talk about also the God, I know Switch 2 games can't go on the Switch 1, but wasn't it vice versa? Right, Switch 1 games can go on Switch 2, or I think I'm probably misremembering.
With the exception of a code that will allow you to download the game. I should say from the outset, there's a lot of misinformation online about this. This isn't all games. This doesn't include any of the first-party games that we know of. I've seen this argument used.
Is it only games that are like third-party and too big, right?
No. If only a fraction of Switch 2 games did this, it's still a terrible thing. This isn't one games company coming out and saying their game doesn't fit on one particular cartridge. This is a feature that Nintendo has advertised. It's coming from them. If there are certain games coming to their platform that do not fit on their...
Then they have no right to upcharge a physical disc. Like the physical disc, actually, no, if they want to just like have weird prices, okay, do this. If you want to have games also not have download like with the data, like some cartridges comes with the data fully, okay, cool, and some don't. You got to download it through the cloud, whatever, through the internet. That game that you have to download the data should not be expensive physical. It should be the same as digital, because I'm basically buying it digital. Only thing I'm paying for is the case.
Their cartridges, they should be prioritizing better storage for their cartridges, but it's not a storage problem. Bravely Default is only 11 gigs. There's no reason why this data shouldn't be on the cartridge. None. My first thought with all of this was, holy shit, this is
Xbox.
what Microsoft did with the Xbox One. No more pre-owned games, no more lending your games to your friends, and that's why they revealed those digital game cards. It's not a fun new feature, it's a replacement. I've seen some places report that these are not tied to your account and can be traded and used like physical cards.
So if they're gonna call them digital game cards, so is nothing gonna be actually physical anymore? That's kind of where they're going. Is that where it's gonna be? Because it was to the point where it's like, okay, the game is on there, but you got to download a patch, something to make the game run better, or it'll obviously install data so you can run it, but it's not like, hey, I only have 25% of the game, you got to download it because I'm just going to give you the code to download basically this, and you can get the rest of your game. Like, so digital physical games. At that point, do not sell physical cartridges. Literally just give me a download code. I know that will kill physical media, and I don't want that. But if you're gonna do that, do it. Don't do this, because this is it's not that good.
But I can't. So picture this: you're at the airport with your Switch 2. You decide that you're gonna buy a duty-free game and play it on your 16-hour flight. Well, you better hope the airport Wi-Fi lets you download a 70-gig file before boarding, bucko, or you're not playing your brand new game that you just bought for $80 US. While we're on that, let's talk about the pricing. Nintendo hid all of this in the recent direct for a very good reason.
Sure did, because they knew. And I was like, it was smart for them for the actual direct to do that. But it comes off very shady because you're not being upfront and honest. Like, because in their mind, it's like, oh, if we talk about this, it'll ruin the whole presentation, which it would have. But it still did it anyway. But now it's like, it's in a different context where it's like, now it's like you're hiding information from us because you want to just have this clean image, like, oh, look, see, new games, new Donkey Kong, Kirby, GameCube games, Switch camera, VC. Okay, cool, but how much? And they hid that.
Knew it would make people angry. But all of the discussions I've seen about this have just focused on Mario Kart World. It's not just Mario Kart World. Pre-orders for
the only thing is because this is the true example that could be not $80 or 80 or not. Yeah, 80. I think 90 physical was a lie, but even still, that's still $80 is a lot because it's Mario Kart. And you have probably the better experience for a game would be Donkey Kong. Like if that's 80, I wouldn't like it, but you could say that. But if you're gonna put Mario Kart 80, what game shouldn't be 80 at that point? You just put everything. Like again, if you're gonna do this, just make it make sense. Just go on and make me pay 80, 90 for all games. But like for Mario Kart to be $80, that's just it doesn't make any sense. You say, oh, but soon you're gonna get a lot of hours. You're gonna get 50 plus hours, 100 hours. You guys are open world. They have all the characters custom. It's gonna have this, that. You're gonna have yes, it's gonna be a good game. Yes, but we got a lot of hours out of $60 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Got a lot of hours. $60 game Breath of the Wild. Even 70 Tears of the Kingdom. We got a lot of hours out of that. So I don't think that's a fair judgment.
People are talking a lot about the US prices and blaming the recent tariff situation, but look at the UK. £74.99 for Mario Kart World is $97 US. That's insane.
I think the only thing affecting the prices is like the console price, probably. Not even the game price. I think they were probably set to aim for $80 games anyway, even if like there was no like a huge tariff. So when any of this stuff happening, I think still would have been 80. It still would have sucked, but it would have been like at least had a better time, right? But yeah.
Current tariff situation in America isn't the reason for this, but it could affect things very soon, because pre-orders have just been halted in the US due to some recent announcements by Trump, meaning it could be soon that American Nintendo fans will be looking to pay even more.
It's so crazy. We can't even engage with the Switch without it being a political issue. Like, it's actually insane. We're actually to that point. Like, again, maybe this is when people care, like when it starts affecting our like daily like hobbies and stuff. Maybe then we'll start caring, okay? Then we'll start making a change, right?
Nintendo is doing just fine. They're not going out of business if they continue selling at their current prices. They
Yeah,
aren't
they
covering
will.
their losses.
Yeah, they will.
Just want more money. And it should be obvious, but this ripples out. The problem is not whether you think these games on
Bro,
this
they're
hardware
struggling.
are
They're
worth
an
these prices.
indie
Everyone
company,
else
bro.
is
Come on,
watching
now
this.
you should cut us
Do you
some
think
slack.
Sony and Microsoft are currently sitting back in their chairs thinking, wow, that's expensive, but we'd never do that. We're consumer friendly? No. They're waiting to see if it affects Nintendo's bottom line, and if it doesn't, they're pressing the big red $80 US button too. Because
If it could, yep. If I'm telling you, it takes one. Apple does it. Everyone does it. If you can get away with it, it's fine. If we can get away with artists using AI in our music, it's fine. If we can get away with $80 games, it's fine. It's gonna happen. Like, like it's just happened so many
you
times.
have
Yeah.
no reason to if it doesn't stop you from reaching for your wallet. Sony and Microsoft do, however, a much better job selling stuff to us than Nintendo. Australian pricing aside, all of these game companies offer complimentary services to ease the sting of paying a monthly fee for online services. Yes, they are typically more expensive than Nintendo's online fee, but they offer so much more. Nintendo offers a selection of very, very old games. They offer some additional
getting
functionality
better,
and
but yeah,
some services,
just
but broadly
offering
speaking, they're
stuff
pretty
like
much
that
direct
is not that
ports,
much.
And it is a very limited selection, a fraction of their back catalog with some very notable absences. Microsoft and Sony, however, offer free monthly games and access to a massive catalog, hundreds of games long. Not just old games, new ones. Sometimes brand new ones. Animal Well was on here day one. Most games I play are on the PlayStation Plus library. Nintendo
I wonder if
doesn't
they would
have an
ever
equivalent.
do that
You
ever.
play
I don't
Nintendo
think so.
64, Game Boy Advance, and
Like,
now
imagine
GameCube.
them like bundling like Odyssey with like Nintendo Switch Online, bro. That would be. It's not even like the best deal because like Odyssey is an old game. But if they can do that, just prove they can, stomach a first party IP like Mario as a free online bundle thing. I don't know, just give it away in some aspect. Will they do that? No, they won't.
I was pumping my fist in the air when Super Mario 3D All-Stars was announced, but then I realized that was only because I could finally play Galaxy again. It wasn't that it was a good product that was reasonably priced. It was that I could finally play a game.
Yeah, oh my God, it
liked.
wasn't even that
didn't matter
good.
that they were selling it to me for the price of a modern AAA game because I had no alternative. Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo had more games and less time had passed since their original release. How does inflation explain this? Nintendo wasn't always like this. We used to have an eShop not that long ago where you could buy all these games individually and have them forever. Nintendo used
Like,
to get a lot
bro,
of
oh
flack
my
from
God, like,
making people
I don't have
rebuy
the
all their games
best
every console generation, but
to
at least
deal
back
with
then,
this.
you could buy them. A big component of the Switch 2 launch slate is Metroid Prime 4. It is the sequel to the Prime trilogy, which you can't play. You can't play the games that lead directly into one of the big Switch 2 launch titles. First-timers won't know the context, and people who played these games over 20 years ago have no way of refreshing their memory. You just can't legally do that. Back on the Wii, Nintendo
wait,
sold
no, hold on.
the Metroid Prime trilogy as one combined collection. They sold this one generation after the first two games and only 2 years after the last. They sold
not
this
gonna happen
for
with this.
$50 US, the same price as every other Wii game. For the next console generation, the Wii U, the Prime trilogy was sold for even less, $20 US. The Nintendo of today would never do that. One generation later, Mario 3D All-Stars featured games that were significantly older than the ones in the Prime trilogy, with less features, less functionality, and for more money. Boycott Nintendo. Yes, it sucks. Mario Kart World looks awesome. Donkey Kong 2. Dusk Bloods? That was crazy. I would love to play that. But no, boycott Nintendo. I've got enough on my backlog that I don't need to fork out what they're asking. I've got games to play, and so do you. Yes, shiny and new is exciting, but sending a message is more important, because imagine a world where Nintendo offered what their competition did. Imagine a world where you could buy any game from the Nintendo catalog for a small price or pay a small monthly fee and get those games and many, many more. New games and 2 extra free games every month. That is the industry standard. Nintendo has decided that the industry standard is not for them. They've decided to offer us far less than that, and we've been kissing their feet saying thank you for far too long. No. Boycott Nintendo. If you really can't stand the FOMO, buy secondhand. That's assuming you're able to do that with this physical keycard situation, but don't put money directly in their pockets. Don't buy digitally from the eShop. Just don't. They need to get the message that they need to adjust their business practices and make consumers happy. They need to get that same wake-up call that Phil Spencer got all those years ago. Don't let them get away with it. If you were really in the market for a brand new handheld console, for God's sakes, buy a Steam Deck. If you really do want some of that Nintendo charm, you can get more of it on the Steam Deck than on the Switch 2. If you want access to Nintendo's back catalog, you fucking
But I hope
go.
they don't get you for that comment, bro.
Not only
You better
all
hope.
the consoles up to the GameCube,
Nintendo's
Wii as
like,
well, the Nintendo
alright,
DS,
alright,
even
alright.
the Switch. You can kit your Steam Deck with every single game in the Nintendo back catalog with a higher resolution and frame rate
I
and
can't
added
do it.
functionality, and you can do it for free. If you have bought those games before, you should be able to use an emulator to play them, especially if there is no other alternative. They're yours. If Nintendo hasn't given you a way to play the games that you have already paid for, find your own methods. I wish I could be excited to give Nintendo money to make more great games. I wish I could be excited for the future of the Switch 2. I'm not. I'm really, really angry, and I think you should be angry too. In a post-capitalist world, you have only one form of real power. Not your vote, not your
Who made
voice.
this video? Gred Glinstone. The 13K sub channel. Yeah.
Nothing you do matters more than who you decide to give your money to. So don't give it to them. Boycott Nintendo.
Them. Good video, but I'm not gonna lie. This same type of video has been made so much, but it's just with, of course, newer things that are happening, and nothing changes. So while I do respect this video and this person who made it, nothing will change, because the thing is, I probably still will get the Switch 2 because I do like the Switch ecosystem and the Switch system as a whole. But my reasons of not playing the Switch as much doesn't have to do with the Switch itself. I mean, it could, but it's mainly that I was not console gaming as much. So it's I didn't get that much hours out of any console. It's just been PC mainly. But with the Switch 2, if it can bring me back with the games, it's just the investment and the asking price they're wanting for the games is what's kind of holding a lot of people back. So the question would be, is the Switch 2 even still worth getting? Again, we can't talk about the Switch without talking about politics. We can't literally it's embedded within the Switch's launch. This is this thing actually stopped a game's or a console's pre-order, or even their launch probably, or even affected the prices. That's something monumental, bro. That's in the history book. So yeah, while I do intend on getting the Switch, it is still hey, should I even get it on launch? If I don't, let's be able to get it. It's not even going to be that much of a FOMO. The FOMO, you would really only get FOMO from the Switch 1. That one had huge, the Switch 1 and the Wii, that's FOMO. Bro, if you did not have it, you were outcasted, outsider, because I didn't get my Switch till fall of that same year it came out. So fall 2017, I ended up buying it, and it was a really good purchase. But you definitely felt the FOMO then, but I don't think you'll feel the FOMO now. So I think it's okay if you don't get it on launch. If you're really on the fence, just don't. If you really just want to get it, just get it. You know what you're getting into, you know the prices, I don't know, it's not a surprise of what they're doing. Yeah. So yeah, I guess just get it out at your own risk. I think I'm still gonna get it. I'm probably just gonna get the bundle with Mario Kart, but I think I'll be okay if I don't get it day one, because rather if I can get it or not, I'll be okay with what I'm already doing, that I don't need a new Switch. The best way to show Nintendo that it hurts is their first week sales. So their first day, first week, whatever. If people aren't going out that first week and getting a Switch, like pre-orders will sell out. Yes, like people will pre-order it. That's not as they're gonna get their money. But if within that first week they're not continuously selling Switches as they thought, then they can be like, oh, like all right, it could pick up here and there as soon as games gets announced. Christmas comes along, it'll have a huge spike in sales. But initially, this is what they're gonna look at. They're gonna see, okay, how is this performing? Whether you post a video, anything, whatever you're doing, you're like, okay, how do they react to this? Did it work? If it didn't, go back to the drawing board. If it did work, oh, okay, let's go in. The Switch 2 is not gonna run out in the US. I'm just saying, I'm just covering all bases to where it's like on that first week or first few weeks or even the first month, you could be like, oh, I can't go into Target or Walmart or Best Buy and buy a Switch. That could happen. It could. Will they run out? No, but will it be like short supply? Could be. But it will be terrible if it's stocked and no one's buying it. That'll send a huge message where it's like they put out a whole bunch and no one's really buying it. So I really want to see the consumer response to this. Like the average, like will it sit in shelves? Will it be sitting in shelves when people buy it, or will it like sell out? We never find it. I don't know. Like, I really just have to see. Again, good video, but like this like we've been trying to boycott Nintendo since the Wii U, bro. Like I don't know. At least like that I've been like conscious enough to like want to boycott because back then like I was like about 13, 14 when the Wii came out. So the Wii U came out. I don't want to seem like I'm that old. Like, oh, you were 13, the Wii came out, so that makes no. Okay, hold on. But yeah, when the Wii U came out, 13, 14, and they were doing bad stuff, and then of course Switch came out. Like it was like some shady stuff. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. But could this again? This could really go down as I did claim it. Say I was like, oh, it could be the biggest launch in a console's history of this new gen. This would be like one of the biggest modern console launch ever in terms of support and in terms of like I don't know, like the hype around it, like even bigger than the PS5. Or now I'm saying it could be the worst console launch of this gen. Um, probably along with the Xbox. I think that could happen, which is kind of scary. So yeah, do y'all think the Switch 2 is worth it? I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I'm probably gonna get it. I'll get the deluxe, the packs with the Mario Kart, but I don't know. Is it worth it? Is the Switch worth it?